Hi folks, Dr. Cindy Nebel here with the Learning Scientists. So today I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about the relationship between confidence and accuracy in memory. So I have a lot of students after an exam that will come in and say things like, I don't understand, I studied so long for this and I know I knew this material prior to coming into the exam. How could I have possibly gotten this score? And there's always some implication that maybe it was my fault. But we then have a conversation about it. What did you do to study? What makes you think that you knew this material? And then we can talk about test taking strategies as well. And inevitably, it's usually something on that study end that we need to talk about. So one of the things that a lot of students do is reread material over and over and over again. And the reason why students tend to do this is because maybe they've never been taught differently, but also as they're doing it, they are able to read faster and feel as though they're comprehending the material more because they're reading faster. So one of the reasons that happens is what scientists call fluency. It's the idea that it becomes easier to do over time. So as they're reading, they can read it a little bit faster on the next one, a little bit faster on the next one. It seems like it's getting more fluent. The words themselves are getting into their heads a little bit easier. So that fluency, it turns out, is far more related to confidence than is actual understanding or accuracy of memory. So that is, as the student is reading the material over and over and over again, and it's getting easier and easier each time, it feels like they know the material. It's taking less time to study, therefore I must know it. The problem is that the test doesn't involve rereading. The test instead involves retrieval practice. So that's one of the issues that students often have, is not necessarily just rereading, but with anything they're doing. If they're doing flashcards, the answer pops into their head a lot faster over time. But that doesn't necessarily mean that they have a deep understanding of that material. So the recommendation that we often have for students then is to try to think of what that test is going to look like and try to make your studying match it as much as you can. So if you're going to be retrieving information, if you're going to be answering essay questions, if your instructor asks tough questions that you have to think about, well, while you're studying, you should be asking yourself those tough questions as well. This is a great time to get into groups or find questions online or in the textbook or wherever you can and quiz yourself. That's what's going to happen on the exam, and that's going to give you a better indication of how confident you should be. How able are you to retrieve that information and discuss the meaning of it if that's what you're going to be asked to do later. So while confidence and accuracy could be very related, that is, if I really know my stuff, I'm going to be pretty confident and maybe also pretty accurate. But just because I have that high confidence doesn't necessarily mean that I have a good understanding. It depends on where that confidence comes from. And if it's just coming from fluency, it's probably not indicative of what the test grade is going to look like.